You probably want to see a good film sometime soon. Producer Charlie is always joining us with the latest in Cinema Corner on both streaming and in theaters. So where do we start?
Okay, so we do have some good ones. Okay. Especially this first one, Sinners.
Okay.
I know you said you've seen some buzz about it online.
Yes, there's been lots of chatter
Lots
about
of buzz.
this.
So this is an R-rated period action horror.
Okay.
Not like the super scary horror, just falls in that category. So this follows twin brothers as they return to their home, trying to leave their troubled lives behind, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting for them back home.
Oh no, okay.
So this stars the talented Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, who I absolutely love.
I love her. Absolutely love her.
Miles Catone, he's actually, this is kind of his first role.
Okay.
Really great in it.
Yeah.
Jack O'Connell, and so many other supporting actors in this as well. Great performances all around, honestly. This was actually written, directed, and produced by Ryan Coogler.
Oh.
He directed the Black Panther movies and Creed, if you're familiar with those. Also, 3 big studios were in a bidding war over the distribution rights for this film.
Really?
Yes. So it just kind of shows you, I feel like, the studio saw the good potential this had out there.
Interesting.
So it actually made a little bit of history with our cinematographer, Autumn Durald Arkapaw. She's the first female director of photography to have shot a movie on large format IMAX film.
Oh, I love, okay.
So we'd love to see a woman succeed, especially in the film industry.
Yeah.
Like I said, great performances all around. The women in this really shine too. Not all of them had the biggest roles. Michael B. Jordan actually plays 2 roles in this one. The third Warner Brothers film in like a month and a half to have the star play 2 roles. Crazily.
Okay, I want to pause on that real quick because I've heard some people in my life comment on this recently. What are your thoughts on that? Because some people, like for example, the big craze was like Mickey 17 with Robert Pattinson. But I know for the plot of that movie, it really worked and it made sense and Robert Pattinson did a great job with it. But now people feel like they're leaning a little bit too much into that arc of like having someone play dual when there's like a ton of incredible actors.
Mickey 17, I agree with, it made sense because it was a carbon copy of the same person over and over again.
Yeah.
For this one, it makes sense because they're twins. I mean, granted, you have your fraternal and paternal twins, so they could have been different actors.
Sure.
But they were identical for this purpose.
Yeah.
But for Alto Knights with De Niro, he did not need to play both those roles.
Yeah.
They were 2 different people, not biologically related whatsoever. They should have cast somebody else to star alongside De Niro. I don't know if it's budgeting reasons, they're trying to save a few bucks by only having to pay one person for 2 roles, or if it's the star power, you know, they're like, De Niro can carry this himself, and he's got that name. I don't know. It really depends on the film, but I definitely hope they don't lean into that going forward for any roles, you know? Like, we don't need the same actor playing both.
No, I agree with you.
Plus, that's just a lot for the actors, too, especially like if you're the lead and you're memorizing like almost the whole script, you know? Along with the great performances, we have some amazing music. Okay. There is this one scene where it's a one shot. Oh. And it shows basically how African American music progressed from back in Africa all the way to like hip hop and the blues and jazz and all that stuff. And it's really cool to see how all that mixed in and just the one shot they did on that too. There is some dialogue, I will say, that's a little hard to hear over the music in some scenes. Now, granted, that could just be the theater. Theater speakers causing that issue, but just FYI.
Yeah, keep that in mind.
Yeah, fantastic costumes and like the special effects, makeup, and everything like that in this as well. Great character building in the first half of the film. It makes you actually care about what happens to these characters in the latter half. Anymore, some films don't seem to care about that character development and you connecting with the character. I will say though, at the same time, the first half is a bit slow. You know, so evens itself out, you know, but it is suspenseful as well. Good suspense.
Lots of things to keep in mind.
It's made $61 million so far worldwide with a budget of $90 million.
Oh, so that'll be fine.
Easily gonna do that.
What else you got?
So next up, we have an R-rated rom-com. Okay. So this is called The Wedding Banquet. It is actually a remake of the 1993 film of the same name, which I didn't realize going into it. But this revolves around a gay man who makes a deal with his lesbian friend, a green card marriage for him, and in exchange for in vitro fertilization for her and her partner.
Interesting.
But plans change as his grandmother surprises them with a Korean wedding banquet.
Oh?
Yeah, you know, not really the way they wanted it to go.
No.
So this stars Bowen Yang, from SNL, Lily Gladstone,
Oh.
which I really like Lily Gladstone.
Me too.
Definitely different from watching her in Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
Kelly Marie Tran and Han Ji-chan.
Okay.
It's honestly a very touching movie. Great performances by Kelly Marie Tran and Han Ji-chan. I will say, I felt like Lily Gladstone was a little underused, though, especially for being the Academy Award nominee she is. And she's just a great actress from everything I've seen her in.
Yeah.
I will say, I think Bowen Yang's, he's ventured out more into acting from being on SNL, but I think he's still finding his footing.
Yeah.
He's not the best still yet at delivering those emotional scenes.
I could see that. Yeah.
But I mean, he didn't grow up. I mean, he might have. I don't know his full backstory.
Yeah.
But SNL, you're more just the comedic aspect.
For sure.
So worldwide, it's only made 922,000 so far, but it's not like the biggest film either.
Yeah.
So moving on, though, we're gonna go some for the kids.
Okay.
We have The King of Kings, which is a PG animated biblical film. It's loosely inspired by the children's book, The Life of Our Lord by Charles Dickens.
Okay.
So this follows a father's vivid storytelling to his young son that details Jesus' life, from humble beginnings to the ultimate sacrifice along the way. This has a stacked voice cast.
Oh.
Kenneth Branagh, Uma Thurman, Mark Hamill, Pierce Brosnan, Ben Kingsley, Oscar Isaac, Jim Cummings.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's crazy how many voice actors they
Yeah.
had in this. I will say, I grew up in church, hearing all the Bible stories and everything.
Yeah.
This definitely felt like the Cliff Notes version of Jesus' stories. So basically the first half focuses from Jesus' birth, to basically up until the Last Supper.
Okay.
And then the latter half focuses more on the Last Supper to resurrection.
Interesting.
So it has a lot more in that latter half that focuses on the one story pretty much.
Yeah.
Whereas the first half is like, oh, here's Jesus' birth. Here's him casting the demons into the pigs. Here's walking on water. It's very quick and to the point for him. So like, if you know the stories, it's kind of like you don't get any additional depth into them.
Yeah.
But it's still a good one, honestly. Perfect for the Easter time that we just went through. Worldwide, it's made. I was kind of surprised how big they've actually made it. 45.8 million.
Oh my gosh.
Worldwide. I know. I was expecting it to be smaller, but
Very cool.
that's really good.
Yeah.
So good one for the kids.
Yeah.
But another one for the kids we've got, not as good, is Sneaks.
Okay.
So this is a PG sports comedy.
Oh.
Right. When a designer sneaker unwittingly finds himself lost in New York City, he must dig deep into his soul in order to return to his rightful owner. Oh, and rescue his sister.
Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, another stacked voice cast.
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie, Martin Lawrence, Chloe Bailey, Lawrence Fishburne.
Love,
and
love.
a lot of other ones.
Yeah.
Quavo, the artist, he has a small role in this.
Okay.
Yeah. How I would pitch this to you is it's basically Toy Story with shoes, but not as good and on the same level as Toy Story.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah. Very weird, but I'm into it.
Yeah. So like I said, stacked cast, but not the best performances. It's like their soul wasn't in it. No pun intended there, I promise.
Well,
but there are plenty of shoe puns in this, which I kind of enjoyed the shoe puns.
Yeah.
But it felt like they weren't really into the performance. Martin Lawrence didn't seem like he cared. I think Anthony Mackie, his performance was pretty good. He was our lead. There are some points where the animation, is choppy and feels a bit unfinished, like it hadn't fully rendered correctly or something. I'm not sure. But I will say it wasn't well advertised because it's only made 240,000 worldwide.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something for the kids, they might enjoy it more than I did.
Yeah.
You never know. But moving on to something that hasn't come out yet.
Okay.
That comes out this weekend. On Swift Horses.
Oh.
So this is an R-rated romantic drama.
Okay.
That follows Muriel and her husband, Lee, as they're about to begin their new life, which is upended by the arrival of Lee's brother, though.
Oh.
So, great cast here as well.
Yeah.
Daisy Edgar-Jones, Jacob Elordi, Will Poulter, Diego Calva, Sasha Kaye. Great cast.
I think I've seen stuff about this.
I really like this one.
Yeah.
I was very excited to see this one. It premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival this past October. And like I said, it comes out this weekend. I thought it was a really beautiful film.
Yeah.
Very heartbreaking, honestly. Great performances all around, but especially from Jacob Elordi and Daisy Edgar-Jones.
Yeah.
Those two really shine.
Yeah.
My interpretation, art is up to interpretation.
Sure.
To me, this explores the discovering and coming out of one's sexuality.
Oh.
Coming to terms with it.
Yeah.
So a very powerful film, honestly. I recommend this one.
Yeah.
It is a little long, a little like 220-ish, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
So that's what comes out this weekend. But also on top of On Swift Horses, we have The Accountant 2 with Ben Affleck.
Yeah, so I don't understand that. So weird.
Yeah,
There's a lot of weird press about it too.
I watched the first one and I'm like, it doesn't need a sequel.
Yeah.
But that's how most things are.
Yeah.
We have Until Dawn as well. This is based on a video game. Then The Legend of Ochi, and then Cheech and Chong's last movie.
They're still around.
They're still around, and this is their last movie apparently.
Well, all right then. What about streaming?
Don't miss it. Then today on streaming on Hulu, we have In a Violent Nature.
Okay.
Horror movie, not your cup of tea.
Nope.
And then this Friday, if you haven't watched it yet, on Max, we got Baby Girl.
Oh my gosh.
With our girl, Nicole Kidman.
Listen, I love Nicole Kidman, but I don't know if I can get behind this film. But
it's a weird one.
It's
a
weird.
weird one.
But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll turn a new leaf and I'll watch it. But that is it for this edition of Cinema Corner, guys. Let us know if there's a film that you're seeing that you want to know more about, and producer Charlie help you out. Unscripted will be right back.